day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian.
From issues on politics,
Hello, Nigeria. I remain committed.
security,
education, health,
lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken
every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
For premium sport content, interviews and reviews, join Sports Central weekdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Good health, they say, is something you can't buy. But the decision to live healthy is a choice that you have to make. Join health practitioners from diverse health fields as they provide you with vital information to help your day-to-day health decisions on Wellbeing, your wellness talk show. Wellbeing airs every Monday, 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Spectrum TV.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Connect. I am super excited to be here, of course. My name is Uyai Anyeken, and here on Connect we have conversations, interviews, real talk about things happening in your day-to-day relationships. And trust me, we cut across all kinds of relationships. But you know now how the world is. Sometimes you just like to pay a little more attention to family relationships. And of course, like you know it, I'd like to encourage you to be a part of growing the community. So like, share, comment on our social media platforms, and do well to give us feedbacks on the conversation that we bring. But as usual, you know, I never come to this table, my round table, alone. I always come with delectable people. And guess what? Today is wives only edition. Remember when we had the husbands only edition, right? Yes, I promised I was bringing you wives. Vola. Hello, my table mates. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. I like the way she's like, hello. You see, the spirit of wife is upon her. Hello. So I'll introduce from my left. You're looking at a very beautiful and a very delectable Mrs. Itorowo Sunday. She is a married woman who has given birth. Right.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And then I get to my far right. That is the Mrs. Udwak Hussein. Welcome on the show. And of course, Mrs. Udwak Hussein is a budding relationship coach and expert. She's one of the good ones we have in our choir. But you know now, I don't bring queer people. I bring people that know it from the professional perspective. Yeah. Yes. Welcome on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and we have someone who is in active business. Active business. Yes. So we have Mrs. Udwak in them also with us on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Good to have you all. Yes. Wives only. This is going to be like, there's something we used to call in Africa, woman sit don't talk. When we just bring our small stools and we sit and let's have this conversation. You know, what's the life of a wife like, literally? Because you know that oftentimes we hear those that are on the other side of the divide. We the single people, all of us, we want to marry. We want to marry, you know, and then the people that are already married are like, you people should wait, it's not that serious. You know. So how many years have you been married for?
About 3 years now.
About 3 years now. Amazing. Udwak, how many years have you been married? 4 years. Okay.
7 years.
7 years. The oldest of them all on the table. 7, 4, and 3. That's been good. How's your experience been like so far?
It get as it be, not be small thing. When I was single, I was like, I want to marry. I saw my mates, everybody was getting married, but nobody tell me saying I saw it go be. By the time you enter marriage home and everything, no more. this is not what I signed up for. That was what I said at the end of the day, because you have to be there, whether you like it or not. The good, the bad, the ugly, you must face it throughout. Like the experiences. If I have to write it in a book, it will too much. The notebook will be filled, and I'll still be looking for more. So I just want to say, my life for me is it's still a journey. It's a long journey, very long, because it's never gonna end.
What has been the greatest change you have had to make in your almost 3 years of being married?
The period I say having children, having kids, the journey is something else. It's something else. I don't know how to explain it, but wow.
I like the way she's tongue-tied.
Wow for me.
Right.
She's speechless.
Yes, actually speechless, like, right?
Yes.
So 7 years in all. What's been your
scary.
experience?
Experience, like she said, writing it in a book, you can actually make a movie out of one's marriage, because it's not what you planned. Let me start by saying it's not what I'm a baby girl for life, but when I got married, I had to put baby girl one side and get my hands on deck, because one thing I like to describe marriage as a wife, because it's an office, it's a call, it's an assignment. So one word I use is sacrifice. You know, guys, you won't drown. You can't. Even if you want to try to be selfish for one day, your man will just tell you, babe, let me just be nice to them. Let them just have, So it's all about sacrifice. Your time, your body, your money, your everything, you sacrifice. So.
What's the biggest shock that you've had being married?
Biggest shock. Hey, it's shock that you go and you cross your leg and they will do everything for you. The reverse was the case. We are the ones doing everything for everybody but ourselves.
Really? Where would you have gotten such an ideology from that you'll be able to
we
sit and
see
do
it in movies like, open the door,
Of course,
flowers, chocolate, all those
it's
things,
giving
all
you
those
your
sweet
best.
words. They start waking up by 3 to change diaper, feed, probably also take care of the husband, because husband is still is the bigger baby, then the children are the smaller babies. So man, it wasn't that was the shock of my life. Like the baby girl treatment I was praying for, it never happened. Not that it doesn't happen, it happens in form of thank you, I appreciate you. It happens, but not like the way.
Not like the way the movie is always painted, right?
All those movies that they like give us a baby, they pop one side.
Okay, so I'm just doing a recap of how everyone's experience has been. So you did tell us, how has it been for you?
Well, mine, I don't even know how to say, but recently what I've actually gotten to realize about marriage is that is a ministry, seriously, because just like you are growing up as a single person, you want to please God and all that. So for me, with all the work and everything, sometimes I'll just have to sit down and ask God, are you satisfied with the way I am as a wife? That's what I got to realize recently. So being a mother, that's a lot. When we were dancing, walking down the aisle, oh God, thank you, you've answered my prayers. Nobody told us that children can shake you. Like I tell people, even if you think you are patient, children will really try. They will try you.
The word I use is they will test you.
You think,
They will test your patience.
Truly. Because that's actually the fruit of the spirit. So of course, as a single person, you are taking it. Yes, I'm patient. I have long suffering. And so
until you really get married.
Seriously. For me, in marriage, that's where the fruit of the spirit is actually tested.
Exactly.
Yeah, because as a single person, somebody can actually offend you and you just pass. But this one, they offend you
in your face.
Seriously.
And they're your living counterparts.
Yeah, of course. Just like I said, if you want God to be proud of you, you just have to let go of certain things. And also, as a person, as a whole individual, as a wife. So I actually just dissected all of them, because I can't just forgive myself with all of them. I cannot. Like, I don't know how to do it.
What's been your happiest moment? Like your happiest memory being married so far?
Happiest moment.
What are you most thankful for in your married life?
Okay, yeah, I think the kind of man I married, when we were actually cutting, I was always saying, okay, just with the way he was, then I'll be like, this guy is me out, that'll be doing everything. But when I got married, I was shocked. Like, even our neighbors can actually testify to this. He's a hard worker. Like, I tell people, he doesn't really do that to please me. It's just the kind of person he is. And I really appreciate it, because if he was doing that to please me, by maybe in our first year, the thing would have died down. But since this is who he is, even in our fourth year, he still does some house chores and all that. And I really thank God for that.
Okay, so expectations in relationships are like the biggest issues that guys have. Like, it's the guys are like, where did these women get all this expectation from coming into marriage, right? So they're always battling, my wife wants this, but this is how it ought to be. How have you handled expectations? Like, if you would say in your husband's words, what are the things that your husband has, like, said, this thing cannot be like this? What's the expectation sacrifice you've had to make the most?
But the thing is, okay, there are some days like I'll be in the house and I'll clean the house, take care of the baby and the rest of the day. My husband comes home and he's like, wait till you did do since morning. Wait, what have you been doing since morning? That statement is very annoying. Anytime I hear that, and I'm like my head has to explode, and I'm like, what do you mean? Are you blind? Can't you see? See, the house is clean. See the baby, she's taking care of, she has eaten, what do you mean, what have I been doing since morning? And it's always, and I'm like, what is happening? Is this man really blind that you can't really see what I'm doing in this house? So it's just so much, I don't really know what to.
So in those moments, how do you handle it? Because we are going to even tilt a little into conflict resolution in marriage. So when it's like that, how do you address the issue? How do you respond to him?
As she said, at that point you just have to be patient. You need to sacrifice, and you just need to calm down. We, as a mother and as a wife, you really need to have these qualities that you don't think you would possess like that. So you need those qualities to just make you be like, okay. Some people would have just been like exploded and be like, what do you mean quarrel will start and everything? Because if you really want to look at it, you will quarrel and quarrel. Those things, they come in, but at that point you just have to maintain peace. And you alone, you're the one to bring the peace to the home. So by the time you burst out like that and you're doing one or two things, there'll be problems. So you just have to just maybe jokingly, you just play around it and just forget everything.
Maintaining peace.
Yes.
So just back end, right? Just before we came on set, you guys were talking about the fact that, oh no, having children really sacrifices you, it stretches you. And you were saying that, once you get married and begin to have children, several other things in your relationship with your husband comes to a halt. But we, from the divide where we are, it's not supposed to be. So that's not what we are taught in premarital classes. Because it's meant that once you are married and you have children, you need to be able to still create time for you and your husband. So let's talk marriage, childbearing, and balancing intimacy in marriage. I think it's very important. How do you balance it? And a lot of us are working class women. 3 of you work. I know 3 of you work, like 8 to 5s, and sometime after that, after work, you're always going to dash into the market. You're going to dash into the market. So having to balance all of that and intimacy, and just so we put it in perspective, now intimacy has like 6 categories. So we are talking sexual intimacy, we are talking emotional intimacy, we are talking financial intimacy, we are talking spiritual, we are talking intellectual and recreational intimacy. These are levels of intimacy. Sometimes someone has one, doesn't have the next. So let's just discuss, like, how is it, Yudi? Let's start with you. Okay. Intimacy on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your current intimacy in the 4th year of marriage? How do you rate intimacy?
Just like you had listed them, they are not on the same level. So I would say finances I think I don't know whether 5 or I don't know. But what I've come to realize is that we are all growing. If you think that as a single person, of course we felt compatibility. Okay, as a single person, we felt compatibility now that you are looking for a man that has, or a spouse or a partner that you are compatible with. But I got to realize that we will not always be compatible on everything.
100%.
That's your stock right there.
Yeah, we will not always be. There are ones that are we are growing into it. Marriage is a work in progress.
Yeah.
So just like I said, the finances, I don't understand that one, Sha. Because of course, whatever
Nigeria is happening to it.
Yeah, but whatever happens, there are we don't have joint accounts, so we do. But of course, when we get to the house and we want to do for the children, mostly it's always for the children. Children know how to burn money like just buying diapers 1 month. So for the emotional
intimacy.
Well, yeah, we are getting there. Of course. Why are you frowning? This is what you did to me. That is okay. Sorry, to happen again. Sometimes the sorry doesn't come. But what comes is the gift. Just call it shawarma. Oh, but there are times where shawarma comes. Okay, wait, keep the shawarma. What did you do to me? You have to tell me sorry first. So it just there's no one way to this thing. True. It just depends on what is happening per time. So the sexual life, right?
Yeah.
Sexual intimacy. I hear children try that department a lot. Having children tries that area.
Okay, yeah. But aside from procreation, you just don't have to allow it be when you want to have children. Because as much as, yes, I know sex also keeps marriage, but not everything just has its own percentage. So there are people would say sex doesn't keep marriage and all that, because if a man wants sex, he will go out. Me, I'm asking, is a man a promiscuous person that you will go out? So, but of course, aside from that, spouses, they have to, their bedside, it has to be spiced up all the time. But there are times where you get tired. There's something I learned from one pastor, Mrs. She talked about dutiful sex. And
is getting tired with sex just a wife thing, or do husbands be like, I'm not doing this?
No, husbands will get tired too.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, please, single people come in here and hear something. All right.
Husbands will get tired too. So, exactly. But it's just that many times it appears the woman that is really saying I am tired, because she's actually the one doing a lot. Because she comes back from work, take care of the children. Yes, the husband will do, but the wife still does more.
Yeah.
So true. Sexuality, yeah, I'll give that 8. But we actually
y'all doing healthy.
Because it just has to be. There's something that does to marriage, to your brain, and to your friendship, and all that. So whatever it is, don't play with that.
Don't play with it. Yeah. Okay. So Judy, let me take you now. Now, intimacy in your relationship, scale of 1 to 10. You know, which of them is the strongest point for you currently?
Well, currently, because of the season I'm in, I would say it's more of the friendship. We're friendly now, because we're expecting a baby and then we have other babies, so we may not really have time for a lot of other things, and so we're more friends, like my guy, my baby. Of course, sexually there are those times, because it's also needed, because hospital pregnancy is good.
I hear that in this season a lot is a good activity.
And one thing I appreciate for is my husband. His personality is very cooperative. He's not one to like put up a no anytime. And the amazing thing is, I used to tell people, my husband is the exception. I hear when they say men are all about sex. In our marriage, the reverse is the case. I'm more of the man when it comes to the bedroom. My husband is like the woman when it's like that. So there are men who actually.
So by that you mean he's not so invested into sexual activities?
Not that he doesn't love sex, but it's not something that he would want to do. He would rather love, respect, listen to you than want to probably be sexually intimate. That's his own way of love. It used to be very weird before, because all the books I read when I was saying like you have to make yourself available even when your husband is not ready. But this one, I am ready and my husband is like, maybe let's talk. Let's call. I'm like, so when we call, the next, please be very like the 1% out of the many percent. I don't know. So I had to learn how to now adjust my mind in that scenario that I have, because it's peculiar to me. Another person, hers might be different. So because of that, you would think we may not have sex all the time like people expect, but he gives me something beyond that. We do, sex is on the table, but there's that friendship. that's togetherness. That is more than maybe the sex for now, especially in this season of our marriage. And then finances, it's we agree, like she said, no joint account yet, we don't have that, so but we bring what we have together.
But our joint account a must in all marital relationships? I don't think it is.
No, it's
But it
not.
depends on what
I'm
works for
not
you.
against,
I
I'm not
think people
against
do
it.
that.
I like it. I would want us to have, but for now, Nigeria is happening to everybody, so we just agree, bring what we can, you know, come together. It's not like your money, my money. It's our money.
Yeah.
And on that one, I would say he's, like I say, that's like an 8/10 because there's a lot of mouth to feed, so money has to come inside. You know. So recreational. Well, I'll say that one is like a shocker for me because my husband is a busy bee. He works round the clock. So when you talk of recreation, I am the recreation officer. I'm the one who says
ginger
today
person.
Yeah.
we are going out. Today we are going here. Today we are taking a break. Let for him. We will go from January to December. Oh no, they'll be working, money, but no time for that. So it's his personality. He's not used to that.
Okay.
So I help in that department.
And I
There
think
are
that's
other
something
ways
every
to-
wife can do.
yes.
That areas that are not like strong
Yeah.
areas for
It's
your spouse.
not at all.
Okay.
So I help in that department because it's not a strong suit. So when it is time, and I notice that we've gone like months, weeks without doing some certain things, we put my foot down and say, sir, we're taking the children out, but we are going out. You
Yeah,
understand?
right.
So
Okay.
that's
I know,
how-
like in your house, you have where you have like a small basketball post. Do you guys still play that? You just sit in your chair in the parlor and throw your basketball into it. Do you still have it?
We don't have it. The children have it.
Right. Okay, I think we'll just take yours, just your answer to this particular question. Intimacy. You are the basketball kind of bride. You are the, very sassy kind of, wife. How is it like for you?
Well, for me, for the recreational parts, I would say you know me now.
I
you
think
know,
you should be at 8/10.
yeah, so
Right.
I'm the person that mostly gingers, and I'm
looks
like,
like-
let's do this, let's go. And my husband is a quiet guy first. Let me start with it. So he's always like waiting up for my rest now. Waiting, don't come again. No, I say let's do something.
Right.
So I'm the kind of person that I was always make sure at the end of the day after all work and we must play. So that one is very important there. And for the finance aspect, for us, we don't have a joint, but we always make sure we have accounts for the children, that we put in small money and be like, okay, when they are for school or for something else. So that one's very important because in a marriage, the money aspect is always the one that brings issue most of the time, especially if the woman is not
Y'all
doing-
three agree.
Scary.
yeah,
Right.
especially if the wife is not doing anything. She's woman have needs, so you always have what you want to use money for. And by the time you're bugging your husband every time and be like, give me money for food, give me money for pampers, give me money for milk, the man will be tired.
But it's not his responsibility.
Even though,
But he's the one who
even you as a mother, if your child is asking you for money every time, you'll be tired. You'll be like, I know it's my responsibility, but make I rest. Me self, I get all that things that I want to do with money. So that part is always one that brings issue, but we just need the ability to bring the peace to the house in the aspect of that side. And that's why they always say woman should always have something to do, so that it's not every time you fall back to your husband. You want to buy small thing, you go and meet him. I want to buy pepper, I want to buy Maggi, I want to buy this one. It's very important for them. Then for the intimacy part, my husband is more of the active type. Hey, whether I don't work from morning till night, I'm ready. Oh yeah, nah. Even when I just say I've done most of the things, and I'm like, even if when they are saying I've gone to the market, taking care of the child, gone to work, do one or two things. Oh yeah, yes, I'm very tired. I'm lying, and he's always like, oh yeah, beg. What? I'm tired. I'm having a. He doesn't want to listen, so you have to just be ready. Then he will remind you and be like, yeah, wait till your mama talk. Didn't you hear what she said on my wedding day? Always be ready, even the pastor or the priest. He will remind you, and you start feeling guilty, and you'll be like, man, just give him. Let me just give him so I can rest.
So how do you navigate that? Because I know sometimes it will bring problems, like
There are so many times we've quarreled because of that. Because there are sometimes I'll just put my foot on the ground and be like, lie. anything we want to make do. I don't tire. I'm tired.
So how are you growing in that process? How is that growing and affecting your relationship?
But for now, I'm just always making sure that he needs it. So you wouldn't want your husband to go outside and then look for someone else because you don't give him sex or something like that. So you always make sure you're always available for him and you're always in the mood. Put yourself in the mood. Always be ready, even if you're not ready.
So how is that? That's like a mental configuration, like something you do in your mind.
Yes. So
Well, sorry. Okay, about that. Recently, actually, I learned about beautiful sex and beautiful sex.
Okay.
And I was so excited that somebody else is also saying this thing, because there are times somebody gets tired.
Very tired.
And the woman said that there are times you're not in the mood, but you could just see it as you're doing a service to your spouse. So there are times where you don't feel like doing it, but once you are in it, just enjoy it. And of course that
say the heavens will open.
Yeah, exactly. Duty or beauty.
Yeah.
Once you just start, you just.
So either way, whether you're doing it dutifully or beautifully, you just have to. Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is what we are going to do. I know y'all been learning something dutifully and beautifully. Oh, you must do it. But we're going to take a real quick break now. And when we return, of course, we'll be bringing you the rest of the conversation on Connect. Stay right there. Don't go away.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian, from issues on politics,
Hello, Nigeria. I remain committed.
security, education, health,
lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken
every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
For premium sport content, interviews and reviews, join Sports Central weekdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Good health, they say, is something you can't buy. But the decision to live healthy is a choice that you have to make. Join health practitioners from diverse health fields as they provide you with vital information to help your day-to-day health decisions on Well-Being, your wellness talk show. Well-Being airs every Monday, 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Spectrum TV.
Hello and welcome back. Of course, it's Connect and we're coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Yes, today has been Wives Only edition and we've been having all kinds of eye-opening conversations about this marriage matter with just the wives. And yes, we want to get right into it as we wrap it up, on today's episode. But something we learned before the break is that there is dutiful and beautiful sexual bed activities, but however you want to do it because there must be peace in the home. So I think something else we're going to touch on a little bit is crisis and offense management. I actually talked about the fact that usually money is a serious issue. We also have put the fact that oftentimes sexual shenanigans is part of the problem. But let's talk offense management, because I feel like a lot of people do not know how to manage issues when they pop up, or people have different styles on how they handle issues when they happen. So let's have a peep into your homes, each and every one of you. How do you handle crisis and tension when they pop up? Start with you, Beauty.
Okay, well, how I handle the issue that comes, I think recently we just learned how to just overlook certain things. Okay, I think that's how we started, but at some point we missed it. At some point we stopped doing it. So we're now like, oh God, that thing you did, I don't like. I noticed that actually created some kind of chaos in the house. So one day I just called him and said, haven't you noticed we are just vexing up and down? He was now like, is it not you that is bringing the issue? I said, so it's me now. So, but after the conversation we had, we just had to. Okay, I just noticed there was this difference, and also I had to pray about it. I was just like, Holy Spirit, I don't like what is going on, and it showed me some certain things that I needed to stop doing. Believe me, I don't know how the Bible works that way, that you just open it and whatever is coming to you is exactly what is happening. So when I saw that, I was like, wow. So what I noticed after that moment, we just know what is small and we don't have to talk about it.
Okay.
And also we just had to, okay, this one, we need to talk about this one, how are we doing it? And I noticed we are cooler now.
So communication is a center bed for conflict resolution. Okay, how do you do it? Because some people are malicious, right? Or how like for myself, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't know how to say you hurt me. I do not know how to tell you I'm angry with you. Once I'm upset, I go mute. I just keep quiet until both of us become tired of the atmosphere. So I just go mute. Yes, that's really because of the kind of environment I grew up. I did not know how to tell someone you've wronged me or not. So even till now, I still practice that, but I'm trying to unlearn it because I found out it makes the air very thick. But I haven't succeeded yet. So for me, it doesn't matter whether it's from girl to girl relationship or colleague to colleague. Once you've heard my lips are sealed. So how do you do it at home?
Well, I used to be like that. Let me start from there. I used to be one that when something happens, or just keep quiet. You need to discern that you have offended me, because I'm like, this guy is going about as if nothing happened. He
Funny
just
enough.
offended me, but I won't say it. I'll just keep quiet and be waiting. And the funny thing is, he will never remember that you're offended. If you don't say it, you'll not just be living life. You'll be hurting and be boiling out. So I had to learn to speak up. You know, I'm very, crazy kind of person. When it comes to coffee, I had to learn a lot of things because I don't take rubbish. Something happens, I'm like giving it back to back. But man, after a while, I noticed my husband became far away from me. We were in the same house, but we were not together. Because I was always picking, more like a picky person. And you did this, you didn't call me, who were you talking to? I was that kind of person. So when I noticed that I didn't have my husband anymore, he was in the house, so he can be there, he's talking to you, but you know, as a woman, we know when we are together. So I felt the distance very far. So I had to tell myself, man, wake up,
Collect your husband.
So I had to swallow my pride. That's where the sacrifice. Because there are some times you genuinely have to say your mind. The Holy Spirit will say, just keep quiet. Like, no, Holy Spirit, no, go to the toilet and vent. He did this, why? Then you have to come out and like, okay, no problem. Okay. You just swallow. That's how I operate now. It is not easy, I tell you. Because this flesh likes to have its way. It's never easy. So right now, how we manage conflict is better. Now we can even laugh over something. Like, so you do that idea. I'm like, so he pay you. Sorry. It wasn't like that before. I had to learn. And most of the time, we have to take like she said, we have to be patient, learn to just keep quiet for the peace of the home. You know, and there's something I learned. Funny enough, my mom that taught me, he used to say that when something happens, another thing I also learned was timing. I used to jabber. Something will happen. There's always a time to present something. But my own, I just every time is the time. So I had to learn. There were times when I had to bring up issues, times when I didn't have to. So there are some things I also learned from him, which was when something happens, before you talk to me about it, you talk to God. You understand? Before anything happens, talk to God. It's either he will talk to me or he will tell you how to talk to me about the matter to resolve it. Because most times when I go on my own, I'll just say rubbish and spoil the whole thing. Even if I meant good, I meant well for it.
Yeah, so you were talking about how that there was a time where your husband was distant because of your style of conflict resolution.
Exactly.
How did you heal that gap? How did you cover it?
Okay, apart from praying, apart from fasting, it took a lot of work. I had to work for it. Like I was saying, we could be together with friends, we could be outside, he'll be so full of life. But when we come home and it's just us, maybe the children are asleep, we're supposed to be gisting and doing that. My husband is just in his own world and I'm in my own world. I could even ask a question, how was your day? Fine. One-liners. Okay, are you hungry? No. That was how it was. So I had to calm down. I had to sometimes say sorry when it was not necessary. I had to promise. I had to show that I really was working on myself. And so that even when scenarios happen that I should react, I'm just like, no, I want this guy to trust me. I want him to love me again. I want my husband back. That was the prayer every day. Oh God, I want my husband back. He's here, but he's not here. It took time. But today it's different. Wow.
We should celebrate. I mean, that's what Connect is about. How you're stabilizing and having all of these activities. I see the sassy one. You are the like the 21st century wife. You know, something they have really pointed out is their dependence on the Holy Spirit. The fact that their Bible relationship, their God relationship is affecting how their lives are stable as a family. Because I mean, I feel like, oftentimes, right? when they say the Holy Spirit is a helper and the women are helpers in their marriages, it means like if you're going to be able to help this man, you got to take a lot of strength from the one who is the first helper, and you can't help someone without wisdom. So I feel like, you know, all those kinds of investments, like she said, her husband taught her to first of all talk to the Lord before coming to talk to me about any issue. You can't imagine the kinds of peace you can enjoy following that, you know, take it all to the Lord in prayer. I mean, good old hymns. All right, so it's not even a matter of, sorry, you know, we have connect so that we can tell how it's working for you, how it's working for you. At the end of the day, someone, no, it's your philosophy. At the end of the day, someone picks what's best for them and goes in with it. So I see, how do you do it? Conflict resolution. What's your style?
Well, for me, I would say, I don't know if it's all men or just my husband, because some men, they have this pride in them. It's hard for them to say sorry. They always want their wife to bring it first and say, okay, I'm sorry now. But that first year of marriage, we had so much conflict, a little thing, and I'm like, I'll just burst out and I'll be like, why did you do? But I had this hot tempered attitude like that. But as a wife, I realized that there's so many things you have to let go. You have to change no matter what.
Is it just always the wife that needs to change?
That's the sacrifice.
So that we are talking about the wives now.
Yes.
Husband, they also change.
Yes.
Thank you for
sometimes
putting it to rest.
how do you think this abuse comes in?
Okay.
Sometimes by the time you're out like that, your husband is out before you know. So sometimes you just have to let go most of these things. And I realized that at that point, maybe I'm angry, him too. Pride now, shoulder up, no one says sorry. He's angry also, and then realize that we'll just go and sleep. We will not talk to each other. You keep food on the table. I realize that this is really childish. Why we stay in the same house? We'll not even talk. We can go like 2 days. We'll not talk. I'll be like, what's happening now? And at that point, you're really having. You're letting the enemies just come into your house to do one or two things there. So and I realized, I was like, no, I had to pray, and I'm like, God, please help me, give me the strength, change this my attitude, give me. So I realized that you have to just go out and say sorry. At the point I had to even confront him. I'm like, why don't you ever say sorry? I'm always the one saying, even when you are at fault, I'm always the one saying sorry. And they'll be like, okay, sorry now, you just have to play. At the end, you just, okay, my wife, come now, I'm sorry. But I have a friend that for her, she has to bring the family in, the mom, the dad.
Every time they have
they have a problem, the family have to come to resolve the issue. There's some families like that. So I realized that you don't have to do that every time. It's just you and your husband resolve it, and always make sure you pray, have that patience, and then just pray to God about anything and everything. And she said, just be matured about it at the end of the day. Any little thing, it's not everything you post out, and just be like, always, even if it has to be that you have to be the first to say sorry, go ahead, so that peace will reign.
Wow,
There's actually a reward for that. A lot of people don't know. They just think you are being used. But what I've realized is that as long as you want to keep the peace, God is going to be with you, and you have reward for it.
Wow,
it's been not about the other person.
Wow, it's been such a beautiful time, and often as always, time is not always enough for us to do this. I want to say a big thank you to Udrak Hussein. Also want to say thank you to Udrak Inem, and say thank you to Ito Sunday for coming on the show. It was a wise early edition, and I mean, they have shared, true and valuable information from their own experiences in marriage. And like one thing I called out from all of this, the point where you as a person realize the need in your family and you work on yourself for it, then you can have a better marriage. That's something I've heard all three wives talk about today, the changes they have to first of all make before expecting it from their partners. And I hope that that's a vital information you take home today. Of course, like, share, comment on this particular show. Kenneth, thank you for being a part of the show today. My name is Uyai, and I can certainly will see you next episode.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Worthy is your name, Jesus. You deserve the praise. Worthy is your name. Worthy is your name, Jesus. You deserve the praise. Worthy is your name.